Alright, I'm back. Alright. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. And I lived a charmed life. It hasn't been perfect, but the difficulties I've been through pale in comparison to what others experience on a daily basis. Well, I've never experienced racism personally, but I have online. But honestly, I don't know what it's like because I never had a run-in with someone who's racist anyway. I certainly don't know how I would have fared. I certainly don't know how I would have fared if it were any different. Would I still have met Luke? And would he still have loved me if I was any lesser?
What was your home like?
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
These things you talk about, it sounds like you... Well, I don't mean to pry, I mean.
Live with my older sister and my grandparents. We had a shop selling all sorts of things below our flat. And well, I was one of the few non-white, non-British students in class.
One of the few?
I didn't get pushed around or anything straight up. Even then, I was one of the biggest kids around.
Oh, Isabel and Zach? Not Isabel and Zach, but Ashton. I forgot his name, but...
But a pencil and notebook would go missing, you know?
On that I knew. Children can be so cruel at times. Of course, it may be a slightly different story when you have personal guards and the stolen items is not a pencil but an expensive heirloom.
So what about you? How you liking your new house? It's pretty impressive.
It's nice, I suppose.
You suppose? Not big enough?
What? No, oh, don't be a bully.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's just messing with
It's just that.
I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
I was a little girl, all dolled up and treated like a fragile porcelain, with nursemaids waiting to me hand and foot. All the material possessions anyone could ever want, I could ask for on a whim, and it would be handed to me just like that. But I barely saw my parents. Just goodbye kisses in the morning before they went off to who knows where they were needed to next. I saw them more often on the telly or in the papers than I ever did in person.
I remember my old house. It was a lot like this one.
Oh, it's bringing up old memories. Okay.
Big walls and big halls, but nobody in it. Not really.
Oh.
It makes you think how alone you are.
Damn. A pensive mood overcomes us. There was a moment where neither of us are sure of how to go on from there. Things have gotten a bit too personal, and yet it isn't wholly uncomfortable, like as if we've been friends before.
Well, that's normal, ain't it? You just moved here. You'll make home out of it yet.
He certainly makes it easy to believe that. My childhood house is indeed a lot like this one. Just as large and extravagant, my bad. And just as empty. I hope he's right.
So, Monsieur le Photographe, you've covered the one and only Ermengarde mansion. What's next on the agenda?
The interview?
Boring. It's an interior design and housing magazine.
And they want to know what Miss Wright has to say about her interior design and house.
Honor Wright thinks she bought a magnificent house that she can certainly brag about. Blah, blah. Boring. You know what they should print more of? I watched an interesting documentary the other day. Bleu Foncé, The Darkest Hours of the Black British. I recommend you watch it. Those are the things that people should know about.
Oh.
What do they care if I use a purple or green bowl of fruit in my kitchen?
I mean, she does have a point.
People, right?
Oui. People are shite.
You're not wrong.
What do you think? Do I look good with this angle?
I strike a pose while he is being busy, looking taken aback for a moment, probably not expecting me to just go and see such a crass word. But he recovers quickly, and after snapping a few shots, he grinned.
Pierre, vous êtes belle.
A lot like me, actually.
You want copies of these ones?
Yes, please. So, the big boy knows French.
I mean, I know French a little bit, but not a whole lot. I barely speak French now that I think about it. I haven't spoken French since I was in high school.
You must have wooed a few ladies. Unless you're into gents.
There's nothing wrong with that. If you're into, I mean, I don't think Zach is in, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a man liking other men. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You do you.
Either way, French is, after all, the language of romance.
It is.
Oh, I don't know about quoting fancy poetry, but I've made lunch for a girl before, and they did like that fancy French cuisine.
Can you cook your best?
I can cook just about anything as long as I know the recipe.
C'est magnifique.
It has been so long since I've met. It's been so long. It has been so long since I've had a nice and proper chat with a good friend. No, Lee is certainly not a good friend. Although we have just met, Zachary is the sort who can probably befriend anyone. He's just a comfortable person to be around with. A bit too comfortable. The photo shoot went by a breeze. And somewhere along the way, as we talk and laugh, I find myself getting a bit too close without realizing. He'll give me this strange look until I back off. And he'll go back to asking questions after I agree to do his little interview. It's just odd. Well, no. Maybe me being friendly isn't that odd. That is how I am. I mean, okay, yeah, she is. I mean, okay, at least she's kind. I mean, I kind of understand. Okay, I did say she wasn't that bad. I mean, she's a decent human being. Zachary is the one that's being odd. Why anyone else would absolutely welcome to the extra attention I give them. He, on the other hand, looks almost flustered about it. He should be used to different personalities by now, having to deal with various people when he works. And if not, he needs to start. Perhaps nobody has shown him attention of this kind, but perhaps nobody has shown him attention of this kind. But he's a big boy. He should be able to handle me. All it is a friendly touch here, a pretty smile there, a gentle sway of the hips as I move around. Zachary grew more and more red every time he noticed. Am I being mean as I find enjoyment in seeing him unravel? Perhaps. This went on during the interview and beyond that. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing, right? Zachary and I are just having a playful, friendly chat while enjoying the outside view. Not really. At least that's how I see it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really getting distracted. Could you maybe stop doing that?
What is she doing? Stop. I'm not sure if I want to. You know what? I mean, a little flirting. I mean, since Luke was flirting with other men, I said men. Since Luke was flirting with other women, I might as well. No, man, I don't condone it, flirting. Let's see what happens. This is who I am, and I'm not going to tone myself down for somebody else. I have no obligation to do so. At any rate, he is rather cute, and it is a bit fun seeing him squirm. What's the worst that can happen? I doubt it will be anything bad, considering how much of a gentleman he is.
Oh, stop doing what, Zach, sweetie?
Okay.
touching my arm and looking at me like that.
I mean, look, I kind of wanted to see what would happen, but still. I paused, giving him a baffled look. This is certainly the first time a man has ever complained about me being too friendly. What's our relationship with him? Oh. Oh no. Can I go back? Hang on. Yeah, whatever. Ah, shit. You know what? I kind of wanted to see what would have happened if I did stop. I kind of want to see if I kept... I kind of wanted to see what would have happened if I did kept using him, but I kind of wanted to see what would have happened anyway. So, okay, so what would happen if I told him if I did stop? Because, like, okay, stop it. Let's see what happens if I stop.
I'll stop if it makes you uncomfortable, sweetie.
Sorry.
No, I should be the one apologizing. Why, you're a shy one, aren't you, big guy?
Okay, let's see our relationship.
It's not that, but...
Okay, good. He gestures to the ring on my finger and lets the fat of the matter. He gestures to the ring on my finger and lets the fat of the matter hang heavily between us. Being told implicitly that I am too forward is not a common occurrence. I think I'm more stunned at the fact that he pointed it out rather than, well, being rejected. Not that anything is going to happen between us in the first place. It was just going to be some harmless flirting, right?
So, you've never had a girlfriend?
Nope. Not to my... I don't think he has.
No. No boyfriend either. You know, just in case you were gonna ask for that one next.
I mean, at least he's perceptive.
And you haven't even had your first kiss?
Not a one, ma'am.
Damn.
Do you want to have your first kiss today?
Okay. I can't help it. I really can't. I really can't, and I'm going to apologize lots later. Surely by the catty smile on my face, it is obvious that I'm just pulling his leg. The laugh I failed to contain certainly gives it away, if it isn't obvious. But still, he lightens up in embarrassment, stammering in sputtering objections.
You're married, and this will be extremely unprofessional.
I never said I would kiss you, silly.
Oh, she didn't say...
Oh, Johans!
No, what? No! Don't call your butler, she's Hannah!
That would be for the better. I don't think his husband would appreciate it if I made him kiss another man. I do not think you can hear us from here either. But it is hard to think you're not taken, Zachary.
I mean, then again, I can see where it is kind of surprising, but then again, I'm not in a relationship either.
Why, whoever becomes your girlfriend will be so lucky to have you. You can cook and take wonderful photographs. Wonderful meals and wonderful memories.
I can play guitar too.
You can? Oh my, wonderful serenades as well then. Perhaps I can find a young lady who deserves a fine, strapping young gentleman like yourself.
You mean like a wingman or a wingwoman?
Let's not get carried away.
I mean, look.
Besides, I gotta be going. It's getting late and I got someplace else to be.
A shame.
Aw.
I will be expecting you again soon, I hope. For a copy of my photographs, yes?
Of course, I'll even deliver them personally. Just, you know, don't try to make me kiss your butler when I drop by.
As fate would have it, the very moment those words leave his mouth, Johan comes out of the house. judging by the slight raise of his brows. He has only heard the tail end of the sentence.
There shall be no kissing of any butlers under this roof, Dunker.
Donkey? What the fuck is that?
But you are not under a roof, are you, Hansi?
And plus, to my amusement, he takes a step back, safely placing him within the threshold of the foyer under the roof of the house. And just as ever, he is quick to return with a sardonic reply.
I am now. As I was saying, madam, it's about time for supper. Will I be needing to set an extra place at the table?
Oh, what? No, I was just leaving, actually. So, you have a good night, Hana. And you too, Hansi.
It was nice to meet you, Zach, honey. You have a safe trip.
Yeah, be careful out here in these streets. He nods, and the grin on his face as we say our goodbyes is the sweetest that I have ever seen. I linger, looking out for him with his relatively tiny bicycle, backpack safely secured in the basket in front and the suitcase hooked to the back. I watch as he went down the path back to Aslan Village until he is nothing more than a blimp in the horizon. I cannot help the small smile on my face as I go inside for supper. Does Hannah like Zach? I mean, there's nothing. I mean, look. Entering the dining hall causes me so much confusion. It is dark. For a moment, I thought the electric work is not up to par. But that clearly is not the case, as every other room is bright with artificial light. Finding the light switch is a monumental task, considering the size of my unfamiliarity with the room. To make matters worse, the darkness grants the room a different atmosphere, eerie and frightening. It takes longer than I thought to find the switch, something that will have to be rectified later on. My skin starts to prickle, and there is the distinct feeling of being watched. It unsettles me, only spurs on in my search. And when I do open the lights, there is a hiss.
I'll turn the lights down, woman.
Have you been drinking? I mean, that's kind of a scatterbrained question, but there at the end of the hall is my beloved husband with his face in one hand and a glass in the other. Perhaps I can let it go if it's only one glass of wine. However, I can feel myself go livid after seeing the toxic green liquid gleam mockingly at me.
Luke, what? Are you drinking absinthe?
What the fuck? Absinthe? What is that?
You know what the doctor said. Absinthe, Luke. Are you actively trying to kill yourself?
What?
Because if you are, we can just hit you with a bloody car.
Honeybee, Buttercup, not too loud, please.
What the fuck is that?
Besides, it's Lelouch, not too strong. Just hair of the dog that bit me. Helps with the hangover, dearest.
You drank? When?
This morning, love. Don't be mad. I just needed a few drinks, having to deal with those simpletons. And maybe I had one too much. You don't see me whinging about you leaving me to handle them on my own.
I had to attend the photo shoot and interview with Luxury Living. You know that. Let's not make this about me, Luke. This is about you and your drinking problem and...
Oh, I don't know, Hana, darling. What if my drinking problem, as you like to call it, is linked to you?
What do you mean?
If we think about it that way, this discussion is about you. That was pretty mean of you, leaving me alone to do all the work like that.
Bro.
You can't use the interview as an excuse either, honey. I was informed the moment your little interview was done. So, what was it then, What were you doing?
We were taking photos, man. I was with Zachary. I was tending the garden. You know what? Let's save it just in case some shit hits the fan. Cause like, bro. You know what? Fuck it. I'll just save here. What happens if I... You know what? Fuck it.
I was talking with Zachary, the photographer for Luxury Living.
I have no reason to lie. I have no reason to tell lies. It's not like I am guilty of anything. Yeah, I never really cared about this dude. I never really cared about Luke. I mean, I never really thought... I never really thought... I mean, I thought, like, you know what? He might be a little annoying, but after the racist comment, yeah. But as Luke's, damn, I can't speak. As Luke's expression turns, he makes me feel like I'm actually am to blame for something. He has a way of making me laid bare with just a look. That had really struck me when we first met years ago.
That giant...
Dude. I don't know if that's even more offensive or not. I mean,
You were having a secret meeting behind my back and it was with him?
What are you implying?
look, it's just professional, man.
I'm implying nothing. I'm just worried. You know better than to trust those media types, Buttercup.
Media types? What do you mean?
He must have been really friendly to occupy your time like that. But all he's looking for is his next big headline.
Dude,
He's a photographer for an interior design magazine.
Doesn't matter. You let one little thing slip, one wrong move, and it'll blow up in the telly in the morning.
does it really matter though?
He'll go to his journalist friends to gossip and make a quick quid.
No, he won't. His eyes were the first thing I noticed about him. They were like nature, the grass and the trees, wonderful and breathtaking. Are you talking about Zach? Is she talking about Zach? Now as I look at him, they're nothing but... Oh, she's talking about this clown. They're nothing but the same shade of green as the bloody damn drink in his hand. Yeah, this ass clown right here, man.
He was a perfect gentleman, Luke.
Sorry about that.
I can't say the same for you as of recent.
Excuse me again? We're talking about you, Hana.
No, I am pretty sure we were talking about you and your drinking problem, Luke, right?
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, everyone. hangover forgotten during the course of this little spat. The man jumps to his feet and seethes. It looks like he was. It looks like he is barely stopping himself from throwing the nearest thing he can.
Oh, it is not a problem. I can stop whenever I want.
That's what they always say. That's what they always say. Then prove it.
And even if it was, I think you can very well stay out of it, as it only affects my own kidneys or liver or whatever the bloody hell that shite pollutes.
What? Dude, the doctor's trying to help you out.
Whatever aftermath that occurs because of your little chit-chat with the it's to both of us, however.
Bro.
Look, Luke. Nothing will happen. You have to relax. It was just a friendly chat.
Well, now I think I'm getting jealous. Or I would be if it weren't for this damn headache.
Oh, but it's perfectly fine for you to flirt with 3 women. But when I have a friendly conversation with another bad, then it's a problem. And this is Hannah's perspective, not mine.
Maybe you should drink more.
Maybe.
She was being sarcastic, but okay. Supper is spent in silence with nothing but the occasional sound of silverware. A grand feast has been served, well, grander than usual anyway, most likely due to Luke's complaint of stress. A platter of native oysters for starters, and tranche of torboy with purple sprouting, broccoli, lemon, capers, and anchovy sauce for the mains. To finish it all off, black tea and golden syrup sponge pudding with custard. But when our appetites are appeased and the plates are cleared away, Luke stands, kisses me goodnight, and leaves me to stare at my half-empty cup. Lonely in the lull night, I sit in a house too big and too empty, foreign and unwelcoming. Even with its warm tone and homely decor, it feels cold. There is no need for tears, however. I know that I can get through this like any other obstacle that I have faced before. This is a minor setback in what I hope will be a long and happy life. To remind myself that this place is for Luke and for our future children fills me with a renewed vigor. Besides, it looks like someone is having to cry already. The wailing is far away and muffled, and yet at the same time, it shakes me to my very core, as if the suffering is just standing right beside me. Hearing it sends a chill down my spine and makes my skin prickle with goosebumps. Who is that? I'm just gonna save it just in case. Curiosity sinks in as I follow the sorrowful sound in the kitchen. Wait, what? And into the wine cellar hatch.
Hello? Is anybody down there?
I am curious and concerned, but there is no way I am going down in a dark and humid underground. I am not as enthusiastic as Luke, who considers himself quite the connoisseur. However, I cannot bring myself to go to bed with this racket going on. If it is one of the household help, they will surely need some talking. After all, this wouldn't be the first time I've gone and found one of the maids sobbing their eyes out over one thing or another. As professional as our staff are, they are still human. More often than not, it was either Johan or I who calmed them down, who would help them figure out how to get on about things. Unfortunately, I am not in the high spirits right now, so I am not as wholly benevolent. Open the hatch, call them out. So I will open the hatch or call them out. I don't want to do neither! Fuck it, let's open the hatch or call them out. I don't want to do neither, because I'm worried she'll end up dying. I knocked 3 times. Waiting for any sort of replies yields me no results. And I've already touched the floor hatch far too many times than what I like. I take a deep breath before reaching out again to whoever's inside. I learned from experience that people respond better to kindness than threats. Shouting angrily will not help in coaxing them out.
You, in the cellar, do come out. We don't want Luke waking up and finding you in there, do we? That man would go ballistic thinking someone was trying to steal his precious wine.
Still nothing.
You can have a good cry. Just not in there, yes? Why don't you come out here and we can have a cuppa and you can tell me all about whatever it is you're bawling about?
I said Koopa. I meant to say cuppa. With how long I am standing here, however, I'm starting to think myself as a fool. I did not want to acknowledge the other feeling I have, especially as the wedding took an eerie turn. Though, of being played with didn't sit too well with me, I had to stop myself from getting too hot-headed as I tried one more time.
No, you come out of there! That is an order from the lady of the house, do you hear me?
Oh shit.
Why, Iota?
I freeze as a hand clamps down on my shoulder. The dread I've been feeling all this time makes it known as I kneel, unmoving, not even daring to breathe. I can feel my heart pounding against my chest, but the touch is gone as quickly as it had seized me. It is only Johan when I look back.
Apologies, madam, for touching you like that.
Oh.
You were not responding to my voice, and you looked about ready to wake the whole mansion up.
I'm sorry. I was getting rather loud, wasn't I?
Yeah.
But that crying woman in there, we must do something about her.
He grows silent for a moment and just looks concerned. At least I like to interpret it as concern, given how stoic our head butler usually is. Or rather, it must be concern as he takes off a glove and presses the back of his hand at my forehead before his worrisome inquiry.
I beg your pardon. What crying woman? Are you feeling well, madam?
In the cellar. Can't you hear her?
Madam Hannah, no one is down there.
What?
The cellar is locked. Only Luke and I have duplicate of the keys. Nobody is down there.
I stare at him in disbelief. But when I listen once more, I hear no crying. Tugging at the hatch for good measure prove his words to be true too. The thing won't budge unless I had a key, short of using power tools on it.
Perhaps it is time for you to go to bed, madam.
Yeah.
You are simply tired and hearing things, a perfectly normal human experience.
Yeah.
But if you are still experiencing auditory hallucinations in the morning, you are free to consult with me.
There is a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach as he helps me up to my feet. What he says makes sense. Who am I to question someone who used to be a doctor? I am just tired, that's it. Long day of moving, the interview, dealing with Luke. That has all drained me of any proper sense.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I just need some sleep, that's all.
Of course I'm right. Go on then. Gute Nacht.
Good night, Johannes. Good night, house.
It's just fatigue. That's what I keep telling myself, although I can't ignore the strange feeling in my gut. Either there is something wrong with this house, or there is something wrong with my head. Sleep will be elusive tonight. Friday. Luke is already gone by the time I rise. There isn't a single hide nor hair of him to be found, and trying to call him on his faintest clue where Luke was yesterday. Today is going to be a busy day, although unlike Wednesday, the master of the house isn't here right now, absent once again from his duties. Hopefully, he'll be back in time of the party. This is our house, after all. A grand housewarming party will be for the wonderful Wright Mansion. Every person of importance from Luxborn is invited, and there will be a few guests flying in as well. Of course, there will be some people from the media along with friends and acquaintances who have made no less important, regardless of their status in society. Marianne and I discussed business and last-minute touches of the house before finalizing everything. Not that there is much change from our original plans. Bar any huge additions to the property itself, the mansion is nearly 100% complete.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Luke and I had a small tiff about making the second bedroom a child's playroom, which I insisted is completely practical. In the end, he had acquiesced. I didn't give him any choice in that matter. I even bought this wonderful wooden crib from the antique store yesterday, including some toys. Just in case anyone brings their baby, of course. Besides, we have little need for the actual guest rooms. We hardly have guests who spend the night. If we absolutely have to, we often choose to foot the bill for their visit on one of our hotels instead, always at Luke's own insistence. And on the off chance that we actually let someone stay, the bedroom is the opposite wing, is still up to task.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
No, I did not agree with him having the helipad.
All right, then. Well, do we have any other concerns? Anything we need to put on our agenda before the party commences?
No, I don't think so. Not unless Luke has anything else to say.
Is he around, then? It'd be best if we can note down his request right away, considering the scope of his usual ones.
I don't think he's here. Nope, he's not here. Around? No. Where is he? Who knows where? I don't.
No, he's not around.
She didn't have to point out the obvious now, did she? After 7 years, I'd already got used to him. I should be by now. Still not, apparently.
But don't you have a party?
I want nothing more than to complain to whinge about how unfair this is. However, airing out one's dirty laundry is simply too taboo among high society. To do so make you a ripe target for the next dinner party chit-chat. Vultures, the lot of them really, or most of them at least. There are always good ones like Rochelle Lee, but put your trust in the wrong person and you'll find yourself eagerly picked apart.
Yes, but Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting, he's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
Perhaps I'm being a bit too rash, a bit too hot-headed in divulging details. I thought myself clever with the plan to dress it up as gossip. Marianne's brow make me unsure whether she is interested or not. Although, that does make things better if she has no interest, and therefore has no hidden intent to utilize whatever I might say to her.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband.
Oh yeah, kinda like you and Luke.
But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
You were asking for my personal opinion on the matter, ma'am?
Yeah?
Do you want me to be honest, or...?
Yeah, just be honest.
Be honest with me, Marianne. I don't need someone to sugarcoat it.
I mean, we all need that honest friend. Just tell her. Just be straight up.
I'm not some fragile thing that I'm just going to break down at the slightest thing.
She hesitates, taking a sip of her coffee while I stare into my own cup of tea. The silence stretches on, and I almost believe that she will never answer my question. I mean, it's better to tell the truth and be honest than just lie about it. The silence stretches on, and I almost believe that she will never answer my question. I suppose that I shouldn't blame her, putting her in the tight spot like this. Her hesitation is understandable, though I loathe to admit it. She simply wants this whole thing to stay professional. But then she speaks.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Yep. As it's my turn to hesitate now. I really didn't expect such a straightforward question. I mean, sometimes you need that. And to get to the heart of the matter, I suppose I'm not as clever as I'd like to think. Or is it that bad that an outsider can see our little marital troubles? Surely we aren't that obvious, are we? We put up the act of a perfect couple for years, although it hadn't always been an act. Marianne is just more keen than the average person, of course. It is a necessity to her career. She's been working so closely with us. Yes, that's it.
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But, if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Someone who won't even give him the time of the day. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. That's just my 2 pence worth, of course.
So you're saying they should divorce?
Yep.
Nothing as drastic as that.
I mean, if they're having issues, then why not? Like, you don't want to be in a toxic marriage or in a toxic relationship where y'all are constantly arguing.
If they're afraid that it might lead to just that, then maybe that is what's meant to happen in the first place. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives. But it's just a short hiatus is all. Or, you know, couples therapy? Look, I'm really not the best person to ask about relationships. So grain of salt and all that.
She trails off, having said her piece, and leaves nothing but the smell of coffee and Earl Grey between us. There is a calm despite the nature of what has been discussed. To say that her words make me start to think is an understatement. To say that I'm not considering her advice is a lie. And to say that this might be just a calm before the storm is a possibility. Others have had shorter marriages, yes, but plenty have been celebrated long and happy ones as well. My own parents celebrated their choral anniversary before they passed away. Damn. But 7 years? 7 years isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. It isn't a whole lot of time to see what our relationship can bring us. And at the same time, 7 years, well, it hasn't been entirely made up of unhappy years, has it? It won't last forever. I suppose not to anyway. It's not supposed to anyway. I just dread the thought that it may last for a very long time. I dread the thought that these small spats, these little disagreements will turn into all out resentment. The idea that we will grow to hate each other with every fiber of our being scares me. I can't even pinpoint the exact moment when our blissful union turned sour. When did he start seeking other women, lacking any ulterior? When did he start seeking other women, lacking any ulterior motives? When did we start to cooperate our only suit? When did we start to cooperate only to suit our materialistic greed and attention-seeking ways? Money and success, fame and glamour, are those the only reasons we stay together? There's a cough before Marianne clears her throat. I must have been quiet for so long. I must move to apologize when she stands up. We both end up on our feet, unsure how to proceed. Some sort of awkward shuffle occurs as we decide whether to sit back down or
I
not.
really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
I will be right back. I'm going to fix some dinner. And, yeah, I'll be right back.